London say Buckingham Palace has uncovered the truth about Archie.
Same date, different belly sizes. No, it's not the angle the photo is taken. There's no way that any angle could change that size of belly. What do you think?
What is the one secret that could shatter a monarchy? A fake pregnancy. For years, public whispers have swirled with a quiet, persistent suspicion. A feeling that the story of the Sussex children didn't quite align. The timelines felt fake, and the stories behind their birth have always raised red flags. However, many people dismiss these suspicions as nothing more than mere conspiracies. But now those suspicions have seemingly been confirmed. Newly released forensic data has uncovered a payment from Meghan Markle's private account to a high-end fertility clinic in Mexico. A payment that coincides with Archie's coincidence? I think not, because this financial footprint has triggered the most severe constitutional crisis the Crown has ever faced, because it doesn't just question a pregnancy, it questions the royal bloodline. So tonight, join me as we examine the chilling question Prince William is now forced to confront. Are his nephew and niece really Harry's kids, or were they bought?
Proselytizing. I am dealing with facts, as simple as that. And there is no doubt that something tremendously odd and a very disturbing.
For over a year now, the whispers about Meghan's pregnancy have dominated the headlines. There have been countless debates online about her bump shapes, photo timestamps, music, and even talk about fake baby bumps.
Want to ask the audience here a much more important question. Meghan, there, is that a real baby bump, or has she strapped it on? Because she's got form for strapping on baby bumps.
However, all those rumors remain just that, rumors. Then the Epstein files exploded into the public consciousness, pulling focus to a different web of power, abuse, and secrecy. On the surface, these were two separate worlds. But in the world of forensic investigation, there are no coincidences, only connections waiting to be decrypted. And a newly released document revealed that a single line in a vast ledger, music of hidden transactions, has just drawn a direct line from that world of elite secrecy to the heart of the House of Windsor. The evidence is a payment invoice of about $500,000 made on May 1st, 2019 from an account linked to Meghan Markle. But that's not the shocking part of this story. Turns out that money was sent to a high-end, discreet medical center near the Mexican border, known in certain circles not for childbirth, but for comprehensive fertility services and absolute confidentiality. Why Prince William allegedly intervened? Now, here's the weird part. Just 5 days after that money was allegedly wired on May 6th, 2019, the world was told Meghan Markle had gone into labor and given birth to Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. The precision of that timing has been raising a lot of red flags because this wasn't a prenatal checkup. It was a $500,000 transaction for a comprehensive medical package executed days before a royal birth was announced. Now, to add even more red flags to this story, to this day, there is no signed confirmation of Archie's birth from the royal medical team. Now, why is such a standard protocol conspicuously absent? Anyways, music, let's move from the financial ledger to the visual and legal record because the story of Archie and Lilith has been widely documented, music all over with photographs, videos, and even on their birth certificates. And that's where another red flag comes up. When experts examine these documents, the narrative doesn't just have gaps, it seems to have deliberate alterations. First, the official photo introducing Archie at Windsor was allegedly staged with cinematic precision. The lighting is studio quality, the positioning is deliberately symbolic, and the overall composition feels less like a candid moment and more music like a carefully constructed piece of propaganda. This doesn't prove fraud, but it establishes a pattern of extreme narrative control from the very first public moment. Then we encounter the first major legal irregularity, Archie's altered birth certificate. Nearly a month after his birth, Buckingham Palace filed an amendment. The mother's name was changed. Rachel Meghan, The name on the original document was scrubbed and replaced with her formal title, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. A DNA test reports and rumor spokesperson for Meghan stated this change was dictated by the palace and not requested by Harry or Meghan. But this explanation raises more questions than it answers because precedent matters. Look at the Cambridge children. Kate Middleton's name, Catherine Elizabeth Middleton, remains on all 3 of her children's certificates. The palace did not demand her title be used. This selective enforcement, music of protocol, is glaring. It creates a legal distinction between the children, elevating Archie's document to a purely royal status, erasing the mother's personal identity. Why was this a bureaucratic snub, as some claim? Or was it a legal necessity? Could it be that a document listing Rachel Meghan as the mother posed a risk if Rachel Meghan could not be medically verified as the birth mother? This brings us to the music cascade of contradictions detailed even in Harry's own memoir, Spare. The couple fostered a narrative of a private natural birth at Frogmore Cottage. The truth revealed later was the Portland Hospital, a standard traceable medical facility. They then claimed Archie was denied the title of prince and directly linked it to a denial of security. Yet, by established royal law, he was never entitled to that title at birth. The narrative of a personal prejudicial snub conflicted with centuries-old impersonal protocol. Then there was the whole drama about Archie's skin color, while alleging that those conversations were tied to his status, which created an emotionally charged but factually murky layer to the entire event. Individually, each point could be explained away as a staged photo for better lighting, a paperwork palace silence and media reaction error, a misunderstood protocol, or private family tensions. But collectively, they form a constellation of obfuscation, a staged photo, an altered legal document, a misleading birth music location, and a publicly misrepresented royal rule. When you layer these documented music contradictions over the $500,000 payment to a secretive fertility clinic, a terrifyingly coherent picture begins to develop. It suggests an operation of immense sophistication, not a simple lie, but a multi-layered production. A production with a script, actors, props, legal revisions, and a narrative carefully fed to the global press. And if that is true, then the goal was not privacy. The goal was legitimization. The insertion of children into a bloodline by creating an unchallengeable public reality backed by altered documents and a billion-watt media campaign. Now, Prince William holds a file that contains what his intelligence advisors would call a strategic, music existential threat. A private unit made up of former MI6 operatives whose sole loyalty is to the crown, not to any individual, did not find a link to criminal networks. But they found something in their world far more dangerous, a flaw in the lineage. Their discovery is brutally simple: a transaction from Archwell Music LLC, a shell company linked to Meghan's former financial team, to that discreet Mexican medical center. A single line of code in a global torrent of laundered money was found not by tabloids, but music by the palace's own cryptologists. This places William in a conflict with no historical precedent. This isn't about choosing between brother and duty. It is a mathematical equation of survival. Music on one side, his brother Harry. The question of Harry's knowledge hangs in music, the balance like a blade. Was he a willing architect building a new life on a fabricated music foundation? Final thoughts. Or is he the ultimate mark? A man whose quest for a family may have been manipulated into becoming the vehicle for its own deception. On the other side, the throne itself, the unbroken, legitimized bloodline that is the sole source of the monarchy's power, and music, its contract with the people. A contract now threatened not by Republicans or protesters, but from within its own claimed lineage. While the world's media churns with declassified Epstein names, a silence, music has fallen over Buckingham Palace. It is the silence of a triage unit assessing a patient with a terminal diagnosis. The headlines on CNN and the BBC are a distraction. The real crisis is unfolding in the quiet pre-dawn hours in secure rooms where the only sound is the turning of a page, music in a file marked for the king's eyes only. And when, not if, this truth reaches that silence, it will do more than ruin reputations. Music, it will reframe a global story. Meghan Markle's every tear, every interview, every claim of persecution will be re-examined not as the outpourings of a victim, but as music, the calculated strokes of a long game. A game where the ultimate prize was not fame or fortune or even revenge, but a permanent, irrevocable place in the history of the most enduring dynasty on Earth. William's choice is no longer personal. It is constitutional. And the war that begins will be the quietest and the most devastating the House of Windsor has ever fought. We are music, now witnesses to a collision not of personalities, but of realities. One reality is the story we have been told of a modern love, a departure from tradition, and the birth of a new independent branch of an ancient tree. The other is the forensic music reality emerging in sealed files and bank ledgers of a $500,000 payment of altered birth certificates of staged photographs, and of music, a medical void where a royal birth should be. Prince William does not hold a scandal. He holds a detonator, one that could shatter the family, or one that could preserve the institution by surgically removing a perceived corruption. Music, at its root, there is no middle ground. Silence is now a form of complicity, exposure, a form of racide. And so the silent war is not fought with words, music, but with withheld documents, frozen assets, and the grim calculus of legacy. The world may watch the spectacle of public interviews and Netflix deals, but the true battle is waged in the shadows of palace archives and private intelligence, music briefings. In the coming months, fragments will surface. A leaked memo, an anonymous courier's confession, and a financial audit. Each one is a piece of a puzzle that music, when assembled, will force a final public verdict. Will it reveal a breathtaking deception at the heart of the monarchy or a tragic series of misunderstandings weaponized by palace factions? The answer will not just define a family. It will redefine music, a 1,000-year-old institution, in the eyes of a disillusioned world. This is no longer a royal saga. It is a historical inquiry. And we music are all now the jury. So, let me know what you think. Till next time, bye.